arrest the subject.
Why am I being arrested? Why am I being arrested?
Why is he being arrested?
Go nuts on my nuts.
Hi, it's me, Creaky. Okay, we're gonna take a look at a sovereign citizen. Now, sovereign citizens believe that they themselves are not judges, juries, law enforcement, or elected officials get to decide which laws they have to obey and which ones they think they can ignore. So let's have a look to see how well that goes for the guy in today's video who thought it would be a good idea to try and arrest somebody himself. And I don't mean a citizen's arrest, I actually mean arrest somebody. So let's take a look. Tidy!
Okay, what you need help with?
Well, days ago, my RV was stolen from a lot off of Vaughn Street, across from Carter Field next to the White Pump House.
Okay.
Is there a superior here, actually?
Well, we're all on level playing field, so which
I'd like to speak with the superior.
I'm sure you would, and you can ask for a superior, but you have no federal or state constitutional right to make one come to the scene. And to be honest, in my opinion, for what it's worth, you've already blown it, because by asking for a superior, you're already implying that you don't think this police officer is up to the job, and whether he is or isn't remains to be seen.
all right, well, you're speaking to me right now, so what do you need help with?
I would like to speak with the superior directly, sir. I want to make sure my constitutional rights are respected through this whole process and ordeal.
Okay, well, I'm here to protect your constitutional rights. That's what we're here for.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So who is the supervisor, though, just so I can direct my attention to the proper channel of authority for myself?
Supervisor here.
No supervisor. Okay. So, primary residence and my primary dwelling, my sole domicile. It was taken from me days ago. I immediately picked up the phone and called and filed a report for grand theft of South Boston Police Department, which Officer Perkins responded. He refused to provide any incident report or any investigation. Any information regarding my RV and a call to be removed from private property. With that being said...
Oh yeah, and you best get used to that, because he says, with that being said, a lot. And as annoying as it gets, it's nowhere near as stupid as what he says next.
I'm sorry, I'm a lawyer. I've been studying this whole weekend. I have notes, so if you'll just give me a moment to go through this.
Okay.
No, you didn't mishear him. He actually said he's a lawyer. But it gets better, or worse. It doesn't matter. And you can tell that he's been rehearsing this speech, which was probably composed with the help of other sovereign citizens in their very important SovCit Facebook group.
I just delivered a certificate of service to the tow yard to put them on notice of a violation of a federal crime.
So, a certificate of service proves that the process server delivered the document to its intended recipient. And when it's completed, the certificate of service becomes part of the court record. Now, the process server, typically the sheriff's office, completes the document immediately after he or she hand delivers the summons and petition or complaint to the non-filing party. It's then time-stamped and dated and delivered back to the filing party to use as verification with the court that proper service has been performed.
I'm acting as a private attorney general right now, investigating this matter and also filing the report.
Wait, what? Doesn't this guy realize that the best way to get away with something is to say nothing? He's already claimed to be a lawyer, told the officers that he's carried out the serving of a certificate of service, and now he's telling them he's an acting Attorney General. And an Attorney General is a statutory member of the Cabinet of the United States under the Appointments Clause of the United States Constitution. The office holder is nominated by the President of the United States, then appointed with the advice and consent of the United States Senate.
I didn't get as far as requesting him to retract from the crime that he was an accessory of, because he asked me to vacate the property.
Okay.
So I removed myself immediately, telling him not to go anywhere because he would be under arrest.
Uh-oh, not a citizen's arrest, just under arrest. So now you're a law enforcement officer as well as a lawyer, and an acting Attorney General.
Now, because he moved my sole primary dwelling and residence into the county jurisdiction, this would also be scene of a crime. this is your jurisdiction as well in regards to.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there.
Yes,
okay?
sir.
No crime has been committed.
Yes, sir, it has. And
look, if you can let me finish talking first, and then you can talk, all right?
Yes,
that's
sir.
how this is
This
gonna
is
work.
prison of a felony.
Okay, look, you're gonna stop talking and listen to me, okay? No crime's been taken. You parked your vehicle on a lot owned by somebody else. You can't park it there. That means he has a legal. Code of Virginia says you cannot leave any property that belongs to you on somebody else's
Can
name.
you furnish me that code?
I don't have to. I'm telling you.
Me, I know. And I don't have to tell you either, but I'm going to. Is Article 3, trespassing vehicles, parking and towing, subsection 46.2-1219.1, and it says, regulation or prohibition of vehicular traffic on certain privately owned public parking areas and driveways. You can't park on other people's driveways, douchebag.
Listen here, sir. With all due respect, this is why I requested a supervisor. This is misprison of a felony, refusing to take a report in regards to the felony, and you're acting as an attorney practicing law unlicensed right now, which is also a crime.
You know, sometimes when you say something and then very quickly realize that you shouldn't have, did he actually just say to the cops that they are acting as unlicensed attorneys? And again, this is just my humble opinion, but it probably would have been better not to say that, especially when you take into account that that's exactly what you're doing in front of actual law enforcement officers.
And now, you are here to solely take a criminal report. In regards
No
to
criminal
that,
report. Nothing criminal has taken
hold on
place.
1 second, sir. I'm not trying to argue with you. I'm trying to educate you. Now, the Supreme Court had ruled that it is your sole duty to take a criminal report in regards, and if I am falsifying any information in regards to this report, you will be liable to arrest me.
Educate? You may want to educate whoever does your clothes shopping for you first, pal. I bet he's the type of person that if he needed surgery, he'd want to be awake, just so that he could make sure the surgeon didn't make any mistakes.
Now, with the state law and federal law considering, I'm going to educate you. Not at one point, at any point in time, was I made aware that I was trespassing. Therefore, it is a crime in regards to the removal of that vehicle from that property because nobody had made anybody aware that a crime's been committed.
Why do some Americans pronounce the H? It's silent. It's a vehicle. There's no heckle. Or is it only hicks that say vehicle? That would make sense.
I'm going to elaborate for you in a clear instance. 1 second, sir.
No, he's talking, you stop talking, okay? That's how that
I really
works.
wanted to speak with the supervisor so I didn't get gangbanged by a bunch of people who didn't study law.
Gang-banged? That's wrong in so many ways. For a start, you've only just met these officers. You should at least offer to take them out for dinner first.
Do you know the person that owned the property you're parked on?
It's not owned by a private individual. It's owned by a private corporation.
Did that corporation give you permission to park there?
This property has been generally open and accessible to the public in the neighborhood for generations, as I can testify myself to that.
Was it
There
closed when you parked
are no posting signs whatsoever that would deem any portion of that property not open and accessible to the general public.
Doesn't matter. Private individual or a company. If they own the property and they ask you to leave, then just leave. Just because somewhere is open to the public, that doesn't necessarily mean that you can do whatever you like, you donut. How would you like it if somebody parked on your driveway and refused to leave? Hang on, do RVs have driveways? You get the point, though.
Sir, this is misprison of a felony if you're refusing to take a report. This is why I seriously wanted a supervisor to come down here and respect my constitutional rights.
Now, this may come as a shock to you, but I'm not actually American. But I can research all things American, including the law. Now, just for the hell of it, let's say that Judge Judy here is correct, and the company are in the wrong for getting his RV towed. Surely it would be a misdemeanor and nothing more.
With that being said, violations of U.S. Code and of the Constitution are as follows. Violation of the KKK Act, which is the Three Quarters Act, the RICO Act, the Homestead Act, 18 U.S. 241 and 242, and an attempt to extort me for money when I have no contract with them.
There you go, you just said it yourself. You have no contract with them, so how in the hell are you so shocked and upset that they've asked you to leave? Now, unlike this guy, I'm definitely not a lawyer, but isn't the RICO Act a federal law designed to combat organised crime? And 18 US 241 and 2 also seem to have no bearing on what this guy's talking about. 241 says it's unlawful for two persons to go in disguise on the highway or on the premises of another with the intent to prevent or hinder his or her free exercise of enjoyment of any rights so secured. It's their premises, not yours, you dipshit. And 242 says it's a crime for a person acting under the colour of law to willfully deprive a person of right or privilege protected by the Constitution or laws of the United States. Now, believe it or not, I have actually read the US Constitution, and nowhere can I find it saying you can trespass freely, unless of course I'm completely misunderstanding this guy's argument. He was trespassing. As soon as the owners of the land asked him to leave, then that's exactly what he should have done.
No contract, no notice, no contract. Therefore, that is a violation of 1961.
Yeah, we need to call the FBI. We enforce federal goods.
I did.
Okay.
And they refused, claiming it was civil. However, that is another instance where they are, misprisoned of a felony and practicing law without a license.
Oh, for God's sake, he just said it again. That's exactly what you were doing. You may want to stop bringing that up, mate.
They cannot tell me it's civil when I'm filing a criminal report with all the information in regards to such.
But no criminal
Violation
action
of
taking
Title
place.
42, 1986, and also the 8th Amendment.
I love Americans. And I know this idiot is more of an Americant than an American. So in the case at hand, you think that excessive bail shall not be required, nor excessive fines imposed, nor cruel treatment, or unusual punishments inflicted. Because that's what the 8th Amendment says, and that from the guy who is trying to get the cops to arrest another guy on a felony charge for evicting you from his own private land by getting your RV towed. Absolute genius.
The grounds that I have for this criminal matter are as follows.
It's not a criminal matter.
You are not to decide that, sir. You are not the judge. You are here to take a criminal report, nothing more. No notice was provided to vacate. That was my sole home and sole dwelling and primary residence that was stolen.
Okay, look, this is not a criminal
along
complaint.
with attempted extortion.
Extortion? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, you have to pay to get your RV out of the pound, don't you? You said it yourself, you had no contract. Now, if you had, then yeah, they would have been legally obliged to give you suitable notice. But you were basically squatting on somebody else's land.
Now you go ahead, sir. What do you have to say?
The town of South Boston is the people that were responsible for towing your vehicle.
No, they were not, sir. If they were, there would be a report number as far as an incident report or call log report, and they would have paperwork in regards to such. If Officer Perkins conspired to withhold evidence while that RV was removed by a private party, he is also involved and will be named as a criminal accessory.
But what I'm saying is, South Boston Police Department towed your vehicle. The county don't have
it left the jurisdiction. Yes, it does. And I'm going to teach you about
You
this,
ain't
sir.
gonna teach me nothing.
I'm not? Okay,
you're
are
not.
you too old to learn new tricks?
Look, well, we're trying to...
I still am requesting a supervisor.
And one's
on
not
scene.
coming.
You're going to tell me I'm refused the right for a supervisor to come and take a formal report seriously?
Yes, because it's not a formal report. This is not serious.
This
It's not a criminal
serious,
act.
Not a formal report, not a criminal act.
No, sir, it
you
is not.
studied law yourself, correct? Did you take the bar, sir? Did you take the bar?
No.
Did you take the ball?
It's a fair question. Did you? Because, and I'm shocked that you don't know this, being a lawyer and all, but it's actually illegal to pretend to be a lawyer, and as you quite rightly said, it's against the law to practice law unlicensed. So without the bar, how exactly are you a liar? Well, no, you are a liar. But what I meant to say is, how exactly can you claim to be a lawyer?
I didn't have to take the bar.
We didn't either.
Yeah, and that's a shame because you enforce law that you know nothing about.
So now you're not a lawyer because all lawyers must take the bar exam. Did you forget you said you were a lawyer?
We need criminal justice reform because you guys violate rights all the time, misprison felonies. This is a conspiracy to deprive me of my rights. Because you don't know the law, ignorance is no excuse for not knowing the law.
And being ignorant is no reason to claim you do, pal. Now, the contemporary sovereign belief system is based on a decades-old conspiracy theory. I know, absolutely shocking, a conspiracy theory. And they think that at some point in history, the American government set up a legal system the sovereigns refer to as common law, and it was somehow secretly replaced by a new government system based on admiralty, the law of the sea. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Are you following? Now, under common law, they believe they would be free men. Under admiralty law, they are slaves. And secret government forces have a vested interest in keeping them that way, for some strange reason which will probably never be revealed.
2725, you said put arrest the subject?
Do not see him refuse the officer because this is being recorded, okay?
Ready?
No, you're recording this, yes, sir. And I'm not in agreement with you recording.
Put your hands behind your back.
Why am I being arrested?
Well, I would have thought that was obvious. It's because you're being a massive dick. Actually, no, I hope being a dick isn't grounds to be arrested, because if it is, I'm in big trouble.
You're being on arrest right now, okay?
What? I'm sorry. Why are you detaining me?
We'll get to that in a second.
Why are you detaining me, sir?
We'll get to that in just a second.
You're under arrest.
Why am I being arrested? I'm not impersonating a
Go
law.
ahead and let go of your phone. You can't have that in the back in the car. Go ahead and release your phone.
I'm not impersonating law enforcement officers.
You served that man a paper down there that you wrote and told him he was under arrest. That's impersonating a police officer.
I did not tell him he was under arrest. I said, stay right there. You're going to be placed under arrest. Sir.
I didn't tell him he was under arrest, apart from the time I told him he was going to be put under arrest. And I also didn't impersonate a law enforcement official or any other kind of official, apart from the time I said I was a lawyer and an acting attorney general and a sheriff. But apart from all those, I didn't do it.
Well, you can't do that.
Under arrest.
No, I did not tell him I was placed in here under arrest. I did not impersonate an officer. I did not offer any information. Sir, is that this right here is witness intimidation?
Is that your dog?
And this is suppressing my rights. Yes, sir, that is my dog. I would like my sister to come pick up my dog, please.
Come on, right over here.
I'm telling you, sir, you guys are suppressing my free rights. I did not impersonate an officer. I did not impersonate an officer. This is putting my health and safety in jeopardy.
Oh, poor guy. You know, the one thing that stands out to me about these types of people, the SOV citizens and First Amendment auditors and the like, is how shocked they all seem to be when they actually get arrested. I wonder if there's ever once been an instance like this where the sovereign citizen was told, yeah, no problem, pal, you're free to go. You're just too clever for us and we've got nothing on you.
I'm about 10 minutes out.
So what did you tell Don? He gave Don his piece of paper and said that he committed a criminal act and he was under arrest. And I was like, he told you were under arrest? He said, yeah. Like, the camera's still on. He said, yes. I said, we're going to take care of it. So, we're done.
Oh, no way, the cops actually went and spoke to the other party involved. Bet he didn't think that would happen, did he?
Alright, watch this next. But before you do, make sure you subscribe. By order of the Creaky Blind.